Hello and welcome to the dungeon. I'm your host Rob. In today's video, I wanted to make a video where we're going to take a look at the Paladin Warlock multi-class. So last time we looked at the advantages of going fighter, which is mostly we can start with constitution proficiency if we start fighter, and of course we can get things like action surge, which are great, and then combine with the Warlock where the Pact of the Blade is actually giving us another attack that stacks with the extra attack of other martials, which is not really supposed to, at least not in the tabletop version, but you know, whatever. This one's different. One of my friends said they're probably going to patch it out. I don't know if that's true or not. But either way, I figured in today's video, we're going to look at Paladin variants combined with the Warlock. So the basic plan is we're going to want at least 5 levels of each so we can get extra attack from both. 6 levels of Paladin will also give us aura protection, which is probably worth considering. And depending on the Paladin subclass, 7 levels could give us another aura. So we're probably going to be looking at 6, maybe 7 levels of Paladin and the rest in Warlock. Now, again, we could start Warlock. That is perfectly fine too. The advantage of starting Warlock is that, you know, we're going to be able to get that pack feature a lot sooner, and we're not going to have to really care about strength or anything like that. We can pretty much just put everything into charisma right off the bat, and we're not going to have to like respec later. But you know, respecing is cheap, so we might not care that much, right? Also, if you want to have things like counterspell earlier, then starting Warlock is pretty advantageous. The disadvantage of starting Warlock is we're not going to ever be able to wear heavy armor. And we're not even going to have medium armor at the beginning. We're only going to have light armor. Now, not being able to wear heavy armor is not a deal breaker, in my opinion. If we want to be really sneaky and stealth around and ambush people a lot, then heavy armor is actually maybe not going to be much of an advantage there at all. Could be a detriment. But, you know, if we want to be smiting earlier, if we want to be more like a frontline fighter, and then we're just going to add in the Warlock to give us more attacks and some better spell slots, then, you know, and things like Armor of Agathis, of course, then starting Paladin is fine too. So for the purposes of this video, we're going to start Paladin, mostly because I'm already wearing heavy armor, but we can do it either way, and I want to be clear that I don't really think that having heavy armor is absolutely required. But I personally kind of like it. So, you know, that's where we're going to start. The main thing is we're going to end up with nice high charisma because we're going to be using this as our pact weapon, and we will be attacking using our charisma. And we don't even really need a lot of strength later. We could maybe like dump strength entirely. But that's the basic game plan here. We're going to start Paladin and go Warlock. Or like I said, we could start Warlock and add Paladin. But, you know, I kind of prefer this one. Anyways, subclass, honestly, all of them have some good things to offer. If I want to go Great Weapon Mastery, which I probably will anyways, then being able to get advantage from our Vow of Enmity is pretty nice. On the other hand, the Healing Radiance is hands down the best like level 1 Paladin ability that we get. So, you know, also level 7 Oath of the Ancients aura is really, really good too, cutting down spell damage by half that we receive, or any nearby allies. Abilities, and I would probably just go like this, honestly. I might even dump, if I'm planning on wearing heavy armor, I might get rid of the dexterity as well, put that into constitution. That is probably how I would go. And then later, if we want to, you know, get rid of some of the strength, we can respec once we have all of our Warlock levels, or most of our Warlock levels, right? So that's probably how it start. We're going to be attacking with strength at the beginning, but we're still going to have a decent charisma. Nothing wrong with that. That's going to help us with our saves. It's also just nice for like persuasion and deception checks, that kind of stuff, right? I would definitely make sure I have at least one type of conversational skill proficiency. Here we have persuasion. You don't need all of them because usually you've only got the option to use one of them at any given time anyways, right? But I definitely want to have one of them. So anyways, that's how things are going to be looking at the beginning here. As with last time, we're not going to... I'm encumbered, but let's not worry about that. I'm not going to go into a lot of depth on some of this stuff. Now, last time, for the fighter version, we took Great Weapon Fighting, which I think is still a really good option. But I actually like Defense more on this one, because with all the Paladin spell slots and the Warlock, I'm probably going to be casting some spells at least. Like, yes, I'm going to be using a lot of these spell slots for smites. I'm going to be casting stuff like Armor of Agathis, which does not require concentration. But in general, just getting hit less means fewer concentration saves. We don't have proficiency on Constitution saves like we did with Fighter. Now, we will eventually get our Aura of Protection, which will give us our Charisma bonus added to all of our saves, which includes concentration saves. But that's not till Paladin level 6, so that's quite a ways off. And, just having more armor class is never a bad thing. Especially if I'm going heavy armor route anyways, why not just go all in on it? Prepared spells, like I said, I'm not too worried about it. If I was actually playing the game for real, I'd go through that in a lot more detail, but, right now this is more of a build, not a spell guide, so whatever. So, Paladin level 3. We're getting our Divine Health, making us immune to disease. That's not a big deal, but there are a few diseases in here, and some of them cause confusion, which is kind of annoying. So we're getting Turn Faithless, we've got our Nature's Wrath, and we've got some more spells. Like I said, pick whatever spells you want to use. I do like mobility spells a lot, so I might really lean towards some of those. Anyways, level 4, we're getting Feat. We could take an ability score improvement, nothing wrong with that. We could take Great Weapon Master, which was the example I used last time. We could take Polearm Master. Let's just say Polearm Master this time. Why not? I would probably still favor Great Weapon Master, maybe. But, man, Polearm Master's really good. And there's some great polearms in this game. So let's just, for the sake of diversity here, and not just being the same thing every time, let's say we're going with Polearm Master. It does give us a nice bonus action attack too, which is, nothing wrong with that. So, level 5, we're getting extra attack. We're also getting second level spells. We get Misty Step, which is very nice. Moonbeam, it's okay. But Misty Step, great spell there. I'm very excited about that. And now at level 6, we do have some options. I personally would just take Aura of Protection. Aura of Protection is just so good. But we could, similar to what we did last time, we could say take 5 levels of Paladin for extra attack, 5 levels of Warlock for the extra attack, and that would leave us, like, say, 2 levels of Fighter if we really wanted Action Surge and a bonus action heal. That's not bad either, right? If we went with Great Weapon Mastery, especially if I started Warlock and I don't care about heavy armor, grabbing 2 levels of Barbarian for reckless attack, and 1 level gives us rage, level 2 gives us reckless attack, that's not bad either. Having advantage on all of our attacks really allows us to start smashing people pretty hard. And Rage plus Armor of Agathis is just a really fun combination, actually. We're taking half damage. Everybody who hits us is taking damage, though, from armor. It's pretty good. But Aura Protection is also really good. And especially since we're going to have max Charisma, so we can use it with our path weapon, plus 5, or maybe even better, depending on how things go, to our saving throw proficiency, or to all of our saving throws. It's just too much to pass up, in my opinion. So, I'm going to go with Aura Protection. Level 7. Now, again, we could take 6 and 6 or something along those lines. But here we also can get Aura of Warding because we went Oath of the Ancients. And you and all nearby allies take only half damage from spells. The aura disappears if you fall unconscious. But half damage from spells is pretty awesome, especially when a lot of these spells that do damage allow for a saving throw for half, which means that you're potentially looking at a quarter damage. I mean, most likely looking at a quarter damage too, because you've got Aura Protection. So you're getting a plus 5 or better to all your saving throws. So, yeah, that is pretty awesome. So now we're going to multi-class out. Yes, it sucks that we're not going to get that ability score increase, but I would just rather have the extra attack because that's just much more powerful in my opinion. So cantrips, I don't really care about that much. Subclass, again, I would probably just go with the Fiend. The Fiend is going to give us temporary hit points every time we reduce a hostile creature to 0 hit points. And that constant flood of temporary hit points just gives us so much more survivability. The temporary hit points don't stack on each other, which is unfortunate, so we're always going to have, just a small amount coming in. But it can really add up, especially if you're just an absolute beast and you're just crushing stuff in combat. It can be really good. The other two aren't bad either. If we get a crit, we can frighten stuff. That's okay. The Archfey is pretty good as well, being able to charm or frighten nearby foes with the, Feywild Beguiling. It's pretty good, but it does take an action. This is just a passive ability that we're just always getting temporary hit points from. And I really like it a lot. So that would probably be my first pick. And then from here, we're just going to level all the rest of our levels in Warlock. So, I would probably take Hex. Hex is good, right? But Expeditious Retreat, giving us an extra dash action, is pretty nice as well. It's only a bonus action to cast. Great spell if you don't already have it. We do have Misty Step, so it's not quite as crucial as it might have otherwise been. But it's also a first level spell slot, not a second. So, keep that in mind. I would still probably take Agonizing and Repelling Blast, just because, it gives us a nice ranged attack option. It's good for dealing with people on cliffs, or people up on rafters or other platforms. We can maybe knock them out, or knock them off. Maybe knock them out, who knows. Like I said, it also means that we don't need things like Misty Step quite as often, and we can use it for when we truly need it and save some spell slots that we could, potentially use on smites instead. Like I said, there's a lot of good invocations, but a lot of them are for more of a caster-based Warlock. So, Spells, again, we kind of have to pick something. Mirror Image is nice, doesn't require concentration. Obviously, we're going back to the Blade because, we want the extra attack. Warlock 4. I'm going to take another cantrip, whatever, we need a spell. Maybe now we take that, maybe we take that. Float Person's pretty nice. There's a lot of good options. And we get our feet. So maybe we're taking probably an ability score improvement. And next level, we don't have to take this ability improvement. We could take something like Great Weapon Master, because next level I'm going to, if I respec, I'm going to take some of those points out of strength. I'm going to max my charisma, because we don't really need the strength next level. We're going to be attacking using our charisma anyways. And of course, we're getting I'm getting everything from charisma at this point. Our spells are using charisma. And so we take Fireball. Hunger for Darts is pretty decent, like I mentioned before, but I prefer it on casters. Fly, great utility spell. Counter spell. Counter spell is probably the most important spell in the game. So, it is what it is. Mire the Mind was the last invocation choice I took there. Casting slow with a third level spell slot. It's fine. We are encumbered. We're going to be even more encumbered if we actually respect. So if this was the actual character, obviously we're going to take some of those points out. We can put them into con, and we're definitely going to max out charisma. I could just do it right now, just for the heck of it, but who really cares? So that's going to be 10 to 20, because we're going to have the extra point from charisma. There's also, other things we could do too to raise our charisma even beyond 20. I think I have a hat on Will right now that I don't know if Will in my party. I have to go get him. No one really cares that much. Let's activate our auras because why wouldn't we? And that's going to be the basic concept of the character. So we don't have action surge. A little unfortunate, but we do have better spell slots. We have some pretty decent choices we can cast, like, say, Armor of Agathis. Don't forget, that's going to come back on a short rest, too, so if we took a short rest, we'd have both our spell slots and we'd still have Armor of Agathis, which is pretty nice. These Misty Steps are actually from equipment, so we're not going to have those, but we do have the spell right there. We've got, 3 second level spell slots, so that's decent. Of course, we've got our Eldritch Blast, which is going to be actually doing +5 damage because we're going to have 20 charisma, not 18. We've got some spells, we've got a bit of healing, we've got our Lay on Hands. Overall, we end up having a character that's pretty tanky, pretty beefy, who can buff themselves. I didn't use any of these parasites, as you can tell. I'm using one on my current playthrough, though, just not on this previous one. I should really send some of this stuff to other characters, but whatever. This is why I'm encumbered right here, carrying around all this extra gear that could be on somebody else. Oh well, such is life. Anyways, that's the main concept of the character. I'm going to be smiting a lot, attacking, 3 times around thanks to my Pact of Blade. Everything's going to be going through my charisma. My attacks are going to be made with charisma. My aura is going to be based on charisma. My spells are using my charisma. And this just makes for a character where, we really just need that one stat to basically do everything. Now, having a bit of strength still isn't bad, just so you aren't constantly encumbered like I am. But that could just be solved by some inventory management skills, which clearly I lack. Let's just be honest here at this point. Yeah, that is the basic idea of this character. We've got some more spell selection. So I think that compared to the fighter version, we do have, we're lacking action surge, but we do have smites. So it's not like we're lacking in burst damage. We don't have a lot of high-level smites, which is unfortunate. And, compared to the Paladin Sorcerer variant, we're definitely not as good on the spellcasting front, right? The Sorcerer has stacking spell slots because Warlock is its own unique thing. Sorcerer just counts as a generic full caster. The Paladin levels would count as half. And so we actually end up with 4th and maybe even 5th level spell slots with that version. This one we don't. We only have 1st and 2nd for the Paladin and 3rd for the Warlock. So, that's a little unfortunate. But we do have more martial power than the other version does. We're not as reliant on things like haste and possibly losing concentration, or, if you're like my friend who constantly casts things like haste and then you throw it like a bless spell and realize that just canceled haste because both require concentration and now you're actually lethargic, then, you're probably better off this way. I'm not mentioning any names, Jaden. Looking at you. Things like that. No, I shouldn't say that. I don't know if Jaden's actually done that. Either way, though, it's a very, very strong mix. Like I said, you've got your auras, you've got spells, you've got a lot of versatility, and you also still have the 3 attacks around, and you can drop a lot of smites, You're a lot more long rest dependent than the fighter version, which was short rest. And if you don't like constantly having to go back to camp and rest all the time and use your supplies, you just kind of want to blow through the content, drop a bunch of your abilities, take a short rest, keep going, then the fighter version really excels in that regard. But this one, smites and auras, they're pretty good too. Misty Step, great ability. Expeditious Retreat, very nice spell if we took it, You just got so much going on here. I think that this one's really the perfect middle ground, whereas the first version we looked at with the Fighter Warlock is more of a martial focused. The Sorcerer Paladin version is definitely still very, very good in hand-to-hand combat, but is also more caster focused. And then this one is kind of like that middle ground where we've got some decent spells, we've got some auras and other things which are party friendly, but we're also still going for that 3rd attack around. We don't have the higher level spell slots. We don't have, some of we don't have the meta magic, for example, that the Sorcerer version had. But this is a really nice middle ground, combining the 3 attacks still with some low level spells. And If we still have the auras, it is really, really, really solid. Now, unfortunately, in this version I took polearm, so we don't have that. But polearm mastery is great, so whatever. Overall, those are my thoughts though on the Paladin Warlock multi-class. And at this point, we've done videos on kind of all three of these. I might do some videos on other combinations of the classes as well. But this kind of takes us through like the main ones that I wanted to talk about for the kind of like multi-classing frontline, bringing the pain type main character type build. I mean, obviously you can do this on Will or any of your other companions as well, or instead, I should say. Probably not as well. You don't need that many paladins in your group. But this is a good main character. You've also got the good social skills, so if you're talking a lot, you've got persuasion, you've got high charisma. It's really, really solid. Anyways, those are my thoughts on this. Feel free to like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, and of course, leave me your comments in the comment section. I look forward to reading them, and I'll see you next time. Bye.